My wife yelled, "Stop acting like I owe you explanations. I'm not reporting to you." Because I asked who she was with at 3:50 a.m. I replied calmly, "Got it." That night, while she showered, I grabbed my documents, emptied my closet, and moved across the country. 4 years later, she showed up at my office unannounced and froze when she saw the toddler who ran straight into my arms. I'm 36 now, but when this started, I was 32 and thought I had everything figured out. I'd been married for 6 years. We met in our mid-20s at a mutual friend's wedding, started dating, moved in together after 18 months, got married 2 years after that. Standard progression. She worked in marketing. I worked in software development. We lived in a decent apartment in the city, had our routines, had our lives intertwined in all the usual ways. But somewhere around year 5, things shifted. She started staying out later. Work events, she'd say. Networking. I didn't question it at first. Her job was social. Mine wasn't. I spent most evenings coding or reading. She spent hers with clients and colleagues. It made sense. Until it didn't. The night that changed everything was a Thursday in March. I woke up around 3:45 a.m. and realized she wasn't in bed. Checked my phone, no messages. I got up, walked through the apartment. Empty. Her coat was gone. Her keys were gone. Her car was still in the parking garage, so she'd left with someone. I texted her, "Where are you?" No response. I called. Straight to voicemail. I sat on the couch and waited. 4 a.m., 4:15, 4:30. At 4:47 a.m., I heard her keys in the door. She walked in, looked surprised to see me awake. "Hey," she said casually, like it was 6 p.m. instead of nearly 5 in the morning. "Where were you?" "Out." "Out where?" "It's almost 5 in the morning. I was with friends. We lost track of time." "Which friends?" "Does it matter?" "Yeah, it does. You were gone all night. Your phone was off. I had no idea where you were." She dropped her purse on the counter. "I don't have to report my every movement to you." "I'm not asking for every movement. I'm asking where you were at 3:50 a.m. when you weren't in our bed." She turned on me. "Stop acting like I owe you explanations. I'm not reporting to you." I stared at her. She wasn't drunk, she wasn't apologetic, she was defensive, angry, like I was the one in the wrong for asking. I stood up. "Got it." "Got what?" "Nothing. Forget I asked." I went back to the bedroom. She stayed in the living room for a while, then came to bed around 5:30. She fell asleep immediately. I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, she acted like nothing had happened, made coffee, got ready for work, kissed me on the cheek on her way out. "See you tonight." I nodded. Said nothing. That day at work, I couldn't focus. I kept replaying the conversation, the way she'd snapped at me, the way she'd refused to answer a simple question, the way she'd turned it around to make me the bad guy. I came home that evening before she did, looked around the apartment, started thinking. I'd been ignoring signs for months. The late nights, the phone calls she'd take in the other room, the way she'd angle her screen away from me when texting, the new clothes, the new perfume, the sudden interest in going to the gym at odd hours. I wasn't stupid. I knew what this looked like. But I'd been choosing not to see it, choosing to trust her, choosing to believe that marriage meant something. She got home around 8 p.m. that night, cheerful, talkative, asked about my day. I gave short answers. "You okay?" she asked. "Fine." "You seem off." "Just tired." She shrugged and went to take a shower, and that's when I made my decision. I went to our bedroom, pulled out 2 large duffel bags from the closet, started packing, clothes, shoes, toiletries, laptop, chargers, documents, birth certificate, passport, social security card, bank statements, everything important, everything I'd need. I worked fast, methodically. I could hear the shower running. I had maybe 10 minutes. I filled both bags, zipped them up, carried them to my car, came back for a third trip, grabbed my work bag, some books, a few personal items I actually cared about. The shower was still running. I could hear her humming, some song I used to like. Now it just sounded hollow. I took one last look around the apartment, at the life we'd built. The framed photos on the walls, the couch we'd picked out together, the coffee table she'd insisted on buying even though it was too expensive. All of it suddenly felt like props in a play I no longer wanted to be in. I left my key on the kitchen counter. No note, no explanation. She didn't owe me explanations, so I didn't owe her one either. I got in my car and drove. I didn't have a plan. Not really, I just drove. Got on the highway heading west, kept driving. My mind was surprisingly clear, no second guessing, no panic. Just a strange calm that settled over me like I'd finally made a decision I should have made months ago. Stopped at a motel around 2 a.m., checked in. Lay in an unfamiliar bed, staring at an unfamiliar ceiling. The silence was different here. Not the loaded silence of our apartment, where every quiet moment felt like it was hiding something. This was just silence. My phone buzzed around 10 p.m., a text from her. "Where are you?" I didn't respond. She called. I declined. She called again. Declined again. She sent a flurry of texts. "What's going on? Why aren't you home? Are you okay? This isn't funny. Call me back. Seriously, you're scaring me. If you don't respond, I'm calling the police." I turned off my phone and went to sleep. Update 1. The next morning, I drove further west. Made it to another state by evening. Found a cheap apartment listed online. Month-to-month lease. Paid first and last month's rent in cash. Moved in with my 2 duffel bags and nothing else. The apartment was small, studio, but it had a window that faced east and let in good morning light. I sat on the floor that first night, I didn't have furniture yet, and ate takeout from a container. It was the most peaceful meal I'd had in months. I turned my phone back on. 73 messages, 42 missed calls, voicemails I didn't listen to. I sent one text. "I'm fine. Don't contact me again." She called immediately. I blocked her number. She called from a different number. Blocked that too. She sent emails. I set up a filter to automatically delete anything from her address. Over the next few days, she tried everything. Emails from different accounts, messages through social media. She even got her sister to contact me. I blocked them all. I wasn't interested in explanations, wasn't interested in apologies, wasn't interested in anything she had to say. I called my job, told them I was taking a leave of absence, family emergency. They were understanding, gave me 2 weeks. During those 2 weeks, I applied for remote positions with companies across the country, got 3 offers, accepted one from a company based on the West Coast, full remote, good pay, benefits, start date in a month. I used that month to rebuild. I signed the lease on a better apartment, 1 bedroom, nice area, quiet neighborhood with tree-lined streets. I bought furniture, set up my workspace, got a gym membership, started running every morning. I opened new bank accounts, transferred half our joint savings, what I was legally entitled to, left her half alone, didn't touch anything that would complicate things. I filed for divorce, had the papers sent to our old apartment, didn't ask for anything except a clean split, no alimony, no shared assets beyond splitting what we'd saved. Just wanted it done. I started my new job. It was good, challenging. My team was spread across different time zones, so I never felt isolated. I threw myself into the work, took on extra projects, volunteered for the difficult assignments no one else wanted. 6 weeks after I left, my phone rang from an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Hello? It's me." I recognized her voice immediately. "How did you get this number?" "I called your work. They gave me your new contact info. I made a mental note to have that changed." "What do you want?" "What do I want? You disappeared. You left. No explanation. No goodbye. What the hell is wrong with you?" "You said you don't owe me explanations. I figured it worked both ways." This isn't the same thing. Isn't it?" You left me. You were already gone. Silence on the other end. I could hear her breathing, trying to compose herself. I got the divorce papers, she said finally. Good. We need to talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. Sign them or don't. I don't care. You can't just throw away 6 years. I'm not throwing away anything. I'm walking away from someone who thought marriage meant she could do whatever she wanted without consequence. I didn't cheat on you. Then where were you at 3:50 a.m.? More silence. That's what I thought, I said. Sign the papers. Move on. I have. I hung up. She tried calling back. I blocked that number too. Update 2. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. She'd signed the papers without contesting anything. My lawyer said she'd seemed resigned, defeated, came into his office, signed everything in under 15 minutes, and left without saying a word. I felt nothing when he told me. No relief, no sadness, just a quiet acknowledgement that a chapter had closed. I was settling into my new life, new city, new job, new routines. The rhythm of my days became predictable in a comforting way. Wake up at 6 a.m., run 5 miles, shower, coffee, work until 5 p.m., gym, dinner, read or watch something, bed by 11. I joined a gym, started running, made a few friends at work. Well, work acquaintances who I'd video chat with during virtual happy hours. Went on a couple dates, nothing serious, just testing the waters, seeing if I remembered how to connect with someone new. The dates were fine, nice people, good conversations, but I wasn't ready. I'd realize halfway through dinner that I was comparing everything to my ex, the way she laughed, the way she ordered food, the way she'd touch my arm when she was making a point. I hated that she still had that space in my head. One evening, I was at a coffee shop downtown when a woman sat down at the table next to mine. We made eye contact. She smiled. I smiled back. Good book? She asked, nodding at what I was reading. Yeah, actually. You read it? Loved it. The ending destroyed me. We started talking. She was a teacher, 4th grade. Moved to the city 2 years ago from the Midwest. Loved hiking and terrible reality TV and trying new restaurants. We talked for 2 hours. When the coffee shop closed, we exchanged numbers. I don't usually do this, she said, but you seem nice. Would you want to get dinner sometime? Yeah, I'd like that. We went on a date the following week. Then another. Then another. By month 4, we were seeing each other regularly. By month 6, we were serious. She knew I was divorced. I told her the basics. Married young, grew apart, ended badly. She didn't push for details. I appreciated that. When I was ready, about 8 months in, I told her the whole story. The night my ex came home at 5 a.m. The fight. The way I left. That must have been hard, she said. It was, but it was also necessary. Do you regret it? No, not even a little. She squeezed my hand. Good. You deserve better than that. A year into dating, we moved in together. She was patient with me, understanding when I'd get quiet, gave me space when I needed it, celebrated small victories, my promotion at work, my first 10K run, the day I realized I'd gone a whole week without thinking about my ex. 2 years into dating, I proposed. We were hiking, something we did most weekends. Reached the summit of a trail we'd been planning to do for months. The view was incredible. Mountains stretching out in every direction. Sky so blue it almost hurt to look at. I got down on one knee. I know we said we'd take things slow, but I can't imagine my life without you. Will you marry me? She said yes. We got married in a small ceremony. Just close friends and family. Her parents, her sister, a few colleagues from both our jobs. My parents had passed years ago, so it was a smaller gathering on my side, but it felt right. Intimate. Real. The ceremony was outdoors, simple vows, nothing elaborate, just promises we meant to keep. When the officiant pronounced us married, I kissed her and felt like my life had finally started. like everything before was just prologue. 6 months after the wedding, she told me she was pregnant. I cried, happy tears, the kind I didn't know I was capable of anymore. We called her parents. They cried too. Her mother kept saying, "I'm so happy for you both. So happy." The pregnancy was smooth. She had some morning sickness in the first trimester, but after that she felt great. We took classes, read books, set up the nursery, argued good-naturedly about names, took photos of her growing belly every week. Our daughter was born on a Tuesday in April, 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect. I held her in the hospital and felt like my entire world had shifted, like everything I thought I knew about love was just practice for this moment. Update 3. 4 years after I left my first wife, I was managing a team at my company. We'd grown significantly. I'd been promoted twice. We'd moved to a house in the suburbs, 3 bedrooms, a yard, a swing set my daughter loved. Life was good, stable, happy. The kind of happy that doesn't announce itself, but just exists in the background of everything. Morning coffee with my wife, my daughter's laughter, the way she'd run to the door when I got home from the office on the days I went in. Speaking of which, I'd started going into the office 2 days a week for meetings. We'd opened a local branch, and I preferred face-to-face for certain discussions. One afternoon, I was in my office reviewing quarterly reports when my assistant knocked on the door. "Someone's here to see you. She doesn't have an appointment but says it's personal." I looked up. "Did she give a name?" My assistant handed me a business card. I looked at it, felt my stomach drop. It was her, my ex-wife. I stared at the card for a long moment, felt my heart rate pick up, took a breath. "Tell her I'm busy." I tried. She's insisting. She seems upset. I closed my eyes, took another breath. "Fine. Send her in." 2 minutes later, my office door opened. She looked older, thinner, tired. Her hair was different, shorter, darker. Her clothes were more subdued. She looked like someone who'd been through something, lost something, was still looking for it. "Hi," she said. "What are you doing here?" "I needed to see you." "How did you find me?" "It wasn't hard. You're listed on your company's website. Director of Engineering. Impressive." "That doesn't explain why you're here." She sat down without being invited. "I wanted to talk, to explain." "I don't need explanations. That was 4 years ago." "I know, but I need to give them anyway." "I'm not interested." "Please, just 5 minutes." I looked at my watch. "You have 3. She took a breath. "That night, when you asked where I was with someone." "I know. But it wasn't what you think. I wasn't cheating. I was with a friend. She was going through something. Her marriage was falling apart. She called me crying. I went to meet her. We talked until morning. I should have told you. I should have answered my phone. But I was so wrapped up in helping her that I didn't even think about it." I stared at her. "You expect me to believe that?" "It's the truth." "Then why didn't you just say that when I asked?" "Because I was angry. You were interrogating me, treating me like I'd done something wrong. I got defensive." "So you destroyed our marriage because you got defensive?" "I didn't destroy it. You left. You gave me no reason to stay. I made a mistake." "Yeah, you did, and I moved on." "I know, I saw your wedding announcement online, saw the pictures. You looked happy." "I am happy." "Good. That's good." We sat in silence for a moment. I could see her trying to find the right words, the thing she'd come here to say. "Why are you really here?" I asked. "Because I never got to apologize. Because I've spent 4 years regretting that night. Because I wanted you to know that I'm sorry." "Okay, you've apologized. You can go now." "That's it? What else do you want me to say?" "I don't know. I thought maybe we could talk, catch up, get closure." "I got closure 4 years ago." She looked down. "I guess I deserved that." "You did." She stood up. "I'm sorry I bothered you." "Wait." She turned back. There was hope in her eyes, like maybe I was about to say something that would change things. Were you really with a friend that night? She hesitated. I watched her face, watched her decide whether to keep lying. No, she said finally. I nodded. That's what I thought. I was with someone from work. We were having an affair. It had been going on for 3 months. I ended it a week after you left, realized what I'd done, how badly I'd screwed up, but by then, you were gone. You'd blocked me, filed for divorce. I couldn't fix it. You couldn't fix it because there was nothing to fix. You broke it beyond repair. I know. Good. Now you can leave. She walked toward the door, stopped with her hand on the handle. Are you happy? Really? Yeah, I am. Good. You deserve that. She opened the door, and that's when my daughter came running down the hallway. My wife must have brought her by for a surprise visit. She did that sometimes when she was nearby running errands. My daughter burst into my office. Daddy! I picked her up, spun her around. She giggled that pure, uninhibited giggle that 3-year-olds have, the kind that makes everything else disappear. I looked at my ex. She was frozen in the doorway, staring at us. Her face went pale. You have a daughter? Yeah. How old? 3. She did the math in her head. Realized I'd moved on within a year of leaving her. You moved on fast. I moved on to something real. There's a difference. My wife appeared in the doorway behind my ex. She looked between us. Read the situation immediately. She was good at that. Hi, my wife said calmly, pleasantly. You must be his ex. My ex nodded. Couldn't seem to find words. I was just leaving, she managed finally. Safe travels, my wife said with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. My ex walked out, didn't look back. I watched her disappear down the hallway and felt absolutely nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, nothing. My wife came in and closed the door. My daughter was playing with a pen on my desk. You okay? My wife asked. I nodded. Yeah, I'm okay. What did she want? Closure, I think. Did you give it to her? I gave her the truth. That's all she gets. My wife kissed my forehead. Good. You want to grab lunch? The 3 of us? Yeah, that sounds perfect. Final update. That was 6 months ago. I haven't heard from my ex since. Don't expect to. Don't want to. My daughter starts preschool next month. My wife is pregnant again, this time with a boy. We found out 2 weeks ago. We're talking about moving to a bigger house, maybe getting a dog. Normal, boring, happy life stuff. The kind of stuff I never thought I'd have. The kind of stuff I didn't know I wanted until I had it. Sometimes I think about that night 4 years ago. The fight, the silence, the decision to leave. People have told me I overreacted, that I should have tried harder, gone to counseling, fought for the marriage, given her a chance to explain. But here's what I know. Someone who respects you doesn't make you beg for basic honesty, doesn't turn a simple question into an interrogation, doesn't make you feel crazy. My wife yelled, "Stop acting like I owe you explanations. I'm not reporting to you." Because I asked who she was with at 3:50 a.m. I replied calmly, "Got it." That night, while she showered, I grabbed my documents, emptied my closet, and moved across the country. 4 years later, she showed up at my office unannounced and froze when she saw the toddler who ran straight into my arms. I'm 36 now, but when this started, I was 32 and thought I had everything figured out. I'd been married for 6 years. We met in our mid-20s at a mutual friend's wedding, started dating, moved in together after 18 months, got married 2 years after that. Standard progression. She worked in marketing. I worked in software development. We lived in a decent apartment in the city, had our routines, had our lives intertwined in all the usual ways. But somewhere around year 5, things shifted. She started staying out later. Work events, she'd say. Networking. I didn't question it at first. Her job was social. Mine wasn't. I spent most evenings coding or reading. She spent hers with clients and colleagues. It made sense, until it didn't. The night that changed everything was a Thursday in March. I woke up around 3:45 a.m. and realized she wasn't in bed. Checked my phone, no messages. I got up, walked through the apartment. Empty. Her coat was gone. Her keys were gone. Her car was still in the parking garage, so she'd left with someone. I texted her, "Where are you?" No response. I called. Straight to voicemail. I sat on the couch and waited. 4 a.m., 4:15, 4:30. At 4:47 a.m., I heard her keys in the door. She walked in, looked surprised to see me awake. "Hey," she said casually, like it was 6 p.m. instead of nearly 5 in the morning. "Where were you?" "Out." "Out where?" "It's almost 5 in the morning. I was with friends. We lost track of time." "Which friends?" "Does it matter?" "Yeah, it does. You were gone all night. Your phone was off. I had no idea where you were." She dropped her purse on the counter. "I don't have to report my every movement to you." "I'm not asking for every movement. I'm asking where you were at 3:50 a.m. when you weren't in our bed." She turned on me. "Stop acting like I owe you explanations. I'm not reporting to you." I stared at her. She wasn't drunk, she wasn't apologetic, she was defensive, angry, like I was the one in the wrong for asking. I stood up. "Got it." "Got what?" "Nothing. Forget I asked." I went back to the bedroom. She stayed in the living room for a while, then came to bed around 5:30. She fell asleep immediately. I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, she acted like nothing had happened. Made coffee, got ready for work, kissed me on the cheek on her way out.